rolled away, and this is how the route today looks. Not the toughest route the Cape Epic has ever had, but the climb is the front hook pass. It's a long, it's a drag, and then the descent, the technical terrain just after the pass, and they make their way. Now, a few moments ago on front hook pass, and this is the lead group coming up the backside of front hook pass, with Theewaterskloof Kloof behind them, just for those of you who are familiar with the part of the world. Team Scotsram have two teams on here, including the yellow jersey. Trek Salas and Marco are there, and there's a bit of a split. These riders, this whole group of riders you see in front of you, went into the bottom of the pass together, but Nino Schurter's power, I think, has made the difference here. Teus Toernemann, 6 minutes and 49 seconds ahead of Investec Songo Specialized, the 5-time champion Christoph Sauser, and Jaroslav Kulhavi, who's won only his only two other participations in the event, 2013 and 2015. Then in third place, Kansai Plascon, 14:46. Max Knox, the South African marathon champion, and Hector Paez Leon, as we look at Tiger Eurosteel going to the front now. Philip Bass, the South African, is trying to drive the pace together with his partner Matthijs Bierkes. They've been really animated throughout the week, and they're looking to get something out of today. And then Schurter for at that stage for the Scott team. So they want it now, and Scott are just on their wheels to mark every move.
Now, these guys know what it takes to win a stage. They know the level of intensity, the level of concentration it takes to keep it together right until the very end. Cannot let a single thing lapse, and being on the front is probably the best place. Dictating the pace is the easiest way to lay down a bit of punishment. But the Scotsram boys seem to be matching it pretty easily. Well, perhaps there's the clue right there, is that he has been riding cyclocross. You know, it's pretty intense.
Well, the lead group is still together, being led by Nicola Robach from Centurion Voda, with Bierkes and Bass sandwiched between them. Michiel van der Heyden, the Dutch world champion of Team Scotsram. These are the men in the front of the race as they head towards Val de Vie in the grand finale of the Cape Epic. The yellow jerseys are there too. Nino Schurter and Matthias Toernemann with a 6 minute and 49 second lead over Investec Songo Specialized. A pair of 5-time champion Christoph Sauser. It's not going to be a 6th title for him this year.
Experience to be able to handle yourself in a situation like that kind of pressure when the stakes are this high. This is the kind of thing we're talking about right now. The loose sand, can you lose you 10 meters, 10 critical meters, and then of course that costs a bit of extra energy just trying to catch it up. It's all on the edge right now.
Yeah, these are the little kickers. They're not big climbs, but these are the kickers that at this stage in a race, after 7 days of riding in your legs, can make a significant difference and just open a gap.
And of course, guess who capitalizes? The Team Scots, the Scotsram riders, very ready on the power when there's any sign of weakness from any of the other riders. They will check back to see if all of, but of course they'll let off.
Not to get chosen for Rio last year, having focused his whole year on qualifying for the Olympic Games. In fact, he sacrificed racing the Cape Epic, got special permission from the Scott team not to race the Cape Epic because it's such an important part of their year, but he got permission to miss it out, and sadly he missed out on the Rio experience. Well, they might just get back to a part remnants of this group. Is that a rider from Investec Songo Specialized? Could it be Sauser up there?
Well, has been gained from Stefan Sam's mobile e-bike.
Tiger Eurosteel have latched on to the Kulhavi Express. And it's a double-edged sword, that, because he drives such a ferocious pace. Foot off there as he needs to get around the corner. As I said, sketchy. You might see later on tired riders might get that one wrong. It won't be high speed. You want to see an artist at work. There he is.
You know, Schurter taking it quite conservative around these. It's obviously very loose. It's hard to tell exactly what the trail surface is like from here, from the helicopter, but you can be sure if Nino Schurter is taking it conservative, it's pretty sketchy.
Beautiful trails as the leaders head towards Val de Vie. They're not far away from the finish here. They're hugging the lower slopes of the Vemershoek Mountains in the Drakenstein region. Val de Vie just outside Paarl is our finishing spot for the grand finale stage of the 2017 Cape Epic. And there's one man who's making it very, very hard on the front. It's Nino Schurter. Trek Marco, the team behind him, and then it's Matthias Sturneman, Schurter's partner, and the two young guns from Scott SRAM, Michael van der Heerden from the Netherlands, and the Swiss rider André Fischnecht, and two young men.
In that order, in fact, very good.
Well, these are the erstwhile yellow jerseys. Manuel Fumik in the front here, and behind him, the Brazilian champion, Henrique Avancini. Wonderful, wonderful characters, and they were fantastic in the yellow jersey from the prologue until stage 5, until the lights went out there. They did have a puncture and lost a lot of time, and then Avancini really blew badly, and they lost over 10 minutes on that stage. And with it, the yellow jerseys went from 1st to 5th very, very quickly. But they're still in it and driving for home to finish the Absa Cape Epic. So Ravensteiner, and that's Matthew Beers for rider Red E, and Javi Kombrink, as well as Connie Losa and Nico Bell, all riding together. Bell and Kombrink riding in support of Investec Songo Specialized.
That's some bad luck yesterday. They sliced their tyre up, and in fact they managed somehow to slice it up twice. There was two massive gaping holes right on the bead of the tyre and on the sidewall, which doesn't make for easy repairs. They tried to plug it, and eventually they had to put a tube in, and of course losing tracts of time on the day on stage 6. In fact, they eventually lost almost 14 minutes on that day, having been riding right on the front to eventually finishing 14 minutes.
Well, almost time trial mode here for these riders. Frischnecht and van der Heerden, there's a bit of a gap opening up here. Do you think that Schurter, the master tactician that he is playing a game here?
Well, it's a bit of tactics, of course. Any team knows that you only have to ride as if you're wanting to match any team's effort. You have to match the second place team ride. So it doesn't matter that Trek Marco have a guy up the road. All the teams have to do is match the other.
Here goes Schurter and Sturneman, a little chat at the back there. There's comes Trek. Event, first time finish in Paarl, just on the outskirts of Paarl at this beautiful Val de Vie estate. They'll be riding in relative solitude and quiet, just the company of the helicopters around them, no noise around them on the trail now as they make their way along the base of this valley.
They're pretty close to home now. It doesn't look like it's probably almost 5 kilometers left or so. It's hard to tell from the air exactly how far, but they passed the third time check, which is at the 74 kilometer mark, and with 85 kilometers to cover in total.
Change of guard on the front. Scott SRAM now deciding that Nino Schurter, that this is it. It's time to put the hammer down and get his men into the position for which they can perhaps take the stage win.
Perhaps a strategic error here from Trek Marco being on the back in this tricky section. All they need is a little bit of a gap, and the Scott SRAM guys have flown.
Mind you, when Schurter gets on the front, there's a very difficult not to be on the back. He drives such an incredible pace. He is a consummate professional and ultimate tactician. Up this steepish little scaffolding bridge they will go and cross into the grounds of Val de Vie itself. And Schurter backs away. Trek Marco will look up the road and see the young guns from Scott SRAM head off, pin their ears back and go.
That's the move of the day. We just saw it right there. We saw the top two teams. That was what they call the young guns racing up ahead. That gap is rather large. If Trek Marco have any hopes of winning this stage, they will need to get on terms with them very quickly.
Within seconds, the pair of Michael van der Heerden and André Fischnecht have got away from Trek Marco most significantly. They're not worried about Schurter and Sturneman, and they are now heading, hopefully for their sakes, they're heading for a victory here. Every pedal stroke driving it as hard as they can on this grass.
Yeah, the grass is really tricky to ride, almost like somehow pulls you back, but no doubt if they're experiencing it to be hard, the other teams are too.
They look up ahead, they're cutting through the paddocks and polo fields, the training polo fields here on the Val de Vie, and they've done a magnificent job all week It is Fishnecht on the front and Van der Hayden behind him. Nino Schurter already starting to smile now. Perhaps there's Sterneman with him. They'll look back and, well, they won't see the riders behind them. They'll see one of our cameramen. But the riders, Trek, Celis and Marco, perhaps. We'll see if they're still in the frame here.
Oh, that gap is a little bit too big. They've still got a lap of the fields, and then they'll start to see the fencing. And as soon as they see that fencing, they know that they're very close to home, very close to a victory in the grand finale at the Absa Cape Epic in 2017.
Fantastic riding by Andre Fishnecht and his partner Michiel van der Heerden. They're on the grass bank. The polo field will be on their right-hand side, and they are within a kilometre of the finish here. Scott Schramm, Young Guns, a look over his shoulder from Van der Hayden, and there come Trek, Celis and Marco. Fabian Rabenstein and Damiano Ferraro. Have they given it away, or have they got something left in the tank there? They've still got to drop down onto the grass, and a drag it is. There's still quite a drag on this grass, and any weakness here, Trek, Celis and Marco will pounce, but they're out of sight at the moment as they round this corner. The yellow jerseys are rolling in.
They're going to enjoy
on the
this.
right.
They're just going to revel in this hole. They're not going to sprint. They're not going to go hard. They're just going to just enjoy it and showboat across the line. Nino Schurter and Matthias Sterneman.
This is the last. They'll have a right-hander here. Fishnecht and his partner Van der Hayden of Trek, at least Scott Schramm, Young Guns. The last corner in towards the finish. Winners of the grand finale. Scott Schramm, Young Guns. Andre Fishnecht. A second stage win at this year's Absa Cape Epic for the Young Guns, and a remarkable week for the Scott Schramm team. The bike's on high, but it's the men who will come third who will be the real champions, as Trek, Celis and Marco will roll home defeated on the day. But the celebration will be for the yellow jerseys, as Damiano Ferraro. Good effort today, second place for them.
Well, pretty good consolation prize for those two riders. But really, it is all about these two. Nino Schurter and Matthias Sterneman have ridden a very mature race. They bided their time. They struck exactly at the right moment when it really counted. And the rewards are a yellow jersey in the grand finale.
It is new champions, the world champion, the Olympic champion, and now Nino Schurter. Matthias Sterneman is alongside him. He's won it all. He has certainly put it to the others. Nino Schurter, what a remarkable week for the Scott Schramm team. Everyone's heroes, everyone's favourites, because they wear the baggy pants. They have a wonderful attitude to the sport of mountain biking. Very approachable. Look at him. He's celebrating now, and he'll be cheered home. Cadel Factory Racing. Avancini, the Brazilian champion, and there is Manuel Fumi. Yeah, look at them loving it.
I wonder if they rehearsed that last night. Very impressive. Yeah, very good. Let's hope
Lovely
there's
man.
not a 2-minute time penalty. Let's hope he still crosses the The riders have to cross the line together.
Nino Schurter, the first time he's won this title together with Matthias Sterneman. They are the overall winners of the 2017 Absa Cape Epic. The Olympic and World Champion adds the yellow jersey of the Absa Cape Epic.